second to last week. And this one I feel is the most potent and important of all of our missions thus far. Because this is the one that actually releases you, your soul, and even the people around you from what I consider to be prison. It's my belief that most of us are holding ourselves or someone else hostage. Hostage to expectation. This happens with parents, lovers, partners, children, and of course, if we're holding other people to this standard, we are always holding ourselves to the same. Oftentimes our judgment towards other people and our inability to forgive others is because we haven't forgiven ourselves. And so this 4 days is an opportunity to begin by letting yourself or someone else out of prison. So I want you to just notice how that word forgive feels. If you're to think of someone, including if it's yourself, I'm going to think about that. If it's you or somebody else that is really hard to forgive, I want you to think about them right now, okay? And I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Breathe all the way in. And I want you to see that person, and even if it feels so triggering, I want you to imagine that you can wrap them up in light and love. Breathe out. I want you to see them or yourself before they perpetrated you, before they did damage, before they didn't live up to your expectations, before they wronged you, before they hurt you, before they shamed you. I want you to feel them and see them at that time. And then I want you to step even further into their history. Who created this human? Who were their parents, even if you have to imagine them? What do you imagine was the languaging at their house in this person's life? And again, if it's yours, imagine your own family. I want you to feel what it is to have been raised in that space and how they learned, how you learned to love. And I want you to forgive this person or yourself. I want you to forgive the parents of this person or yourself. Forgive the people who brought them into the world and raised them in the knowledge that they had to offer. I want you to start the forgiveness there. Start the forgiveness in the space where they became the people they are today. Because it's there that you might be able to let them off the hook a little bit. So if you struggle with forgiving them, you can open your eyes and just breathe a little. If you struggle with forgiving them for what they did to you, work on forgiving the people who brought them into the world. Work on the people who may not have perpetrated you specifically, but work on the forgiveness of the people who created that person. Because it's there. When you imagine how they became the way that they are, that empathy is created. And when we have empathy, we can find forgiveness a lot quicker, okay? And here's the next thing that I want you to just notice in your bones as you work through this next 4 days in forgiveness. Forgiveness is not perfect, but it is about surrendering. It is about being released. And statistically speaking, I'll use this analogy. Statistically speaking, 76% of all ex-convicts return to prison within 5 years of their release. That's 3/4 of the prison population will return to prison in 5 years. What that means is we become so comfortable in our pain. We become so comfortable in our not good enough story. We become so comfortable being held hostage in our lives and not finding love, enjoyment, or fulfillment, that as soon as we see an opening to go back into the darkness, into the dissonance, into the victimhood that we're coming from, as soon as we see an opening, we'll go back. Only 25% of us will completely leave behind the victim mentality. And the only thing keeping you from forgiving those around you, the only thing keeping you from that is a feeling of victimhood. So when you feel ready to fully surrender, to fully let go, to fully forgive those who have perpetrated you, those who have hurt you, those who have shamed you, those who have shaped you, and forgive yourself for every moment that you have let yourself down. Forgive yourself for all the times you made promises and didn't follow through. Forgive yourself for all the times that you said things you're not comfortable with. Forgive yourself for all the mistakes and things that may have stood in your way of greatness. When you are ready for that forgiveness, you come into real, true love. Sit with that today, you guys. Lots of love.